there was a night when you were on the grass. The air carried the scent of earth after rain, a clean, ancient fragrance that seemed to whisper primordial secrets to your still young spirit. Do you remember? Your bare feet felt the cool dampness of the grass, each leaf a little caress, a palpable connection with the silent pulse of the world. The sky, a black velvet dotted with distant diamonds, was so vast that his chest expanded just gazing at it. There was no hurry, no anxiety, just the light breeze, the distant croaking of a solitary frog, and the feeling of belonging entirely to that moment, to that immensity. In that stillness, you could hear your own blood rushing through your veins, an internal river flowing in harmony with the invisible rivers of the cosmos. It was a subtle symphony, a dance of pure existence, where every breath was a verse and every heartbeat a rhyme. You felt small, yes, but not insignificant. Small like a grain of sand that makes up the entire beach, essential in its tiny totality. There was a truth there, in the simplicity of that instant, a truth that didn't need words to be understood. It was the truth of your own existence, naked and raw, without the adornments and distractions that would come later. A serene acceptance of being who you were, there, under the stars, with the smell of wet earth filling your lungs. Now the world hums louder. The subtle symphony of that night has been replaced by a constant cacophony, an avalanche of noises vying for your attention every second. Your gaze is caught, your mind fragmented. A screen is always on, promising connection but delivering a distorted echo of voices. You scroll, click, consume, in an incessant search for something that always seems to slip through your fingers like water. A subtle discomfort has begun to settle in, hasn't it? An itch in the soul, a persistent whisper in the back of the mind that something isn't right. That this frantic race might not lead anywhere that really matters. You feel it in the rushed mornings, the hastily swallowed coffee, the endless to-do list that never seems to get any shorter. You feel it in the forced smiles and superficial interactions, in the loneliness that sometimes assails you even when you're surrounded by people. It's as if a part of you is still there, in that damp grass, under that starry sky, waiting for you to remember the way back. But the way seems covered up by layers and layers of obligations, expectations, and distractions. Your brightest minds are paid fortunes to keep you scrolling, to hold your attention in addictive cycles of novelty and indignation. A constant stream of information, often irrelevant, designed to keep you busy, but not necessarily present. Productivity has become an implacable god, demanding daily sacrifices on the altar of efficiency. And you bow down because you've been told that this is the path to success, to happiness, to validation. Ideologies shout from all sides, each claiming possession of the absolute truth, dividing the world into us and them. And in the midst of this crossfire, your own inner voice becomes increasingly difficult to hear. Routine, once a safe harbor, may have become a gilded cage, comfortable in its predictability but limiting in its essence. You move through your days on autopilot, fulfilling rituals that have lost their meaning. The culture whispers that you need more things, more followers, more achievements. And this quest for more takes you away from enough, from the contentment that perhaps already resides inside, waiting to be discovered. But you were never shattered, only buried under algorithms, under the weight of other people's expectations and your own illusions. The essence of that night on the grass, your fundamental truth, still pulses within you. Like a river that always finds its way to the sea, your soul yearns for the ocean of truth. It may have been dammed, diverted, polluted, but the nature of water is to flow, to seek its course. Within you lies a seed, planted in the night of time, containing your soul's project. It may lie dormant under layers of concrete, but life persists there, waiting for the first glimmer of light, the first drop of conscious rain. The stars you gazed at that night still shine, even if the city lights try to obscure them. They are a reminder of the vastness that inhabits you, of the eternity that touches you. The fire of your passion, your curiosity, your capacity to love, may have been reduced to embers, but all it takes is a breath of courage, a breath of honesty, for the flames to dance again. The wind of change always blows, even if you try to shelter yourself from it. It carries the whispers of truth, inviting you to loosen your ties, to let go of what no longer serves you. There is a strength in you that is older than the mountains, deeper than the oceans. A resilience that has allowed you to get this far, despite all the storms and detours. This truth that calls to you is not a new invention, but an ancient recognition. It's the echo of your own soul, asking to be heard, to be lived. Stopping running away from reality, or from an important decision, is like removing a bandage from a wound that needs air to heal. It hurts at first, yes. Exposure is uncomfortable. Denial is a warm, heavy blanket on a cold night. It seems to protect, but in fact it suffocates. It prevents movement, deep breathing, and growth. The truth, on the other hand, is like the first sip of cool water after a long walk in the desert. It can be a shock to the system, but it restores, cleanses, and allows us to move forward. Facing what you've been avoiding is like looking into the eyes of a part of yourself that has been neglected for too long. There is fear, perhaps shame, but also an immense potential for reconciliation. The initial pain of the truth is the pain of awakening. Muscles ache when you move them after a long period of immobility. The soul also feels this stretching, this rediscovery of itself. But this pain is different from the chronic pain of denial. The pain of truth is acute, but fleeting. It opens the way to relief, clarity, and freedom. The freedom to no longer have to put up a facade, to no longer have to spend energy hiding what is real. The freedom to simply be who you are. Think of the walls you've built around your heart, brick by brick, to protect yourself. The truth is the pickaxe that can begin to break them down, allowing light to enter and love to flow. Every time you choose denial, you add another brick to this wall. Every time you choose truth, you remove one. The process may be slow, but it is transformative. The important decision that hangs over you, the one you put off day after day, is a door. On the other side is a new path, perhaps unknown, but potentially more aligned with your essence. Fear of the unknown is natural. But the fear of staying in a place that no longer serves you is too heavy a burden to carry indefinitely. The truth does have a weight that first sinks you a little, as if the ground beneath your feet were giving way. But it's the weight of reality, not illusion. And when you stop fighting it, you discover that this weight can be an anchor, not a burden. An anchor that keeps you steady in the midst of life's storms, that connects you to your center, to your deepest truth. Illusion is light, it floats like a soap bubble, colorful and attractive. But it is fragile, it bursts at the slightest touch of reality, leaving behind only emptiness. The truth, however hard, is solid. It is the firm ground on which you can build an authentic life, a meaningful life. If this video has found you, if these words resonate somewhere inside you, it's because a part of you already knows all this. A part of you is tired of running away. That part of you yearns for the liberation that only the truth can offer. It's ready to take the first step, however hesitantly, towards the light. Don't judge yourself for delaying or resisting. Everyone's path is unique, and so is the time for awakening. The important thing is that the call has been heard. The compassion you need now is not just for others, but above all for yourself. Be gentle with your process, with your pain, with your discoveries. The truth is not a punishment, but a gift. A gift that sometimes comes wrapped in barbed wire, but which, once unwrapped, reveals a priceless treasure, yourself. You don't need a miracle or a thunderous revelation. The call is for stillness, for the small gesture, for the vivid perception of now. Start by listening to the sound of your own breathing, the most fundamental melody of your existence. Feel the air coming in and going out, the life pulsating in you, here and now. Allow yourself a moment of silence, away from the incessant noise. In this silence, the subtlest truths can emerge, like stars appearing in the sky at dusk. Observe a detail around you, the texture of a leaf, the play of light and shadow on a wall, the flight of a bird. Rediscover the beauty in simple things, in real things. Feel the ground beneath your feet, the connection with the earth that sustains you. Remember that night on the grass, the feeling of belonging, of being at home in the universe. The truth you seek is not somewhere far away, but in your own present experience, if you allow yourself to feel it fully. There is no need for great heroic deeds, for dramatic transformations overnight. The journey to truth is made up of small conscious steps, of daily choices. Choose honesty over convenience. Choose presence over distraction. Choose courage over fear. Each small choice is an act of self-love, a step towards your liberation. And with each step, the path becomes clearer, the burden lighter. The truth may hurt at first, but lies hurt forever, eating away at your soul little by little, until only a shadow of what you could have been remains. You don't have to be huge to matter. You just need to be awake.